Reverend, there's a petition online that is directed at the President. How far have you gone in getting people to sign up to this petition, and what exactly are you calling for?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to clarify the reasons why we have this petition online. And so far we have about 31,000 people who have signed, because what we are calling for makes absolute sense. Two main reasons. Firstly, the church has been helping in humanitarian work for many years. We have the late President Mandela, the Archbishop Tutu, as some of the people who went to what was then called mission schools. A number of people, including myself, were born in what was called mission hospitals. These were missions that were run by churches, the Catholic Church in particular. They were also involved in food distribution, feeding the poor, the destitute, and also helping people who are not well in their bodies, because that's one of the functions of the church. Now, the President has said government does not have capacity to distribute food parcels. And secondly, he also said they were planning to distribute about 250,000 food parcels in 9 provinces. They were going to do that in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And in my response to that, I said, churches can do this in 1 day because there are many churches that have been feeding people and doing humanitarian work. But now here's a challenge. Okay, here's a challenge. One needs a permit to do that. Even if you are registered and you have an NPO or PBO certificate, you still have to get a permission to do that.
Reverend, that's the church operating to assist with relief work. But what's that got to do with reopening churches so that people can go to church for worship?
No. We are not talking about worship there. We are not yet there. We are talking about humanitarian work.
I see.
Yeah, we are talking about humanitarian work.
So, just for clarity then, Reverend, your petition is about getting the church to operate humanitarian work. You're not calling for an opening of churches for people to go to church on a Sunday.
And that is what that petition is calling for now. We have heard that domestic violence issues have gone up. And we have asked what some of the reasons are that now domestic violence has gone up. And we have also asked whether those people are being counseled by anybody. Are they receiving counseling to try and bring about reconciliation? In most cases, no, nothing is done for those people. Now, when we try to find out what are some of the underlying reasons for this domestic violence, we are told that it is because the arguments are about money. Money is finished, and money, when they run out of money and run out of food, the wife would say to the husband, make a plan, you're a man, go out there and do something. And the husband said, what can I do? And in some cases, we're told that the wives who are selling magwinya and other things on the street, now they are stopped. The husband says, go and sell because we are starving. Yeah. And she would say, but I'm going to be arrested.
Reverend, I don't want us to misunderstand you at all. So you've put on the table 2 issues. One, allowing churches to operate humanitarian missions because you're saying they've got the capacity. The other that I was asking about is whether or not you are calling for a reopening of the church, which is the framing of the...
We want to help.
So are you calling for people to be allowed to go to church on a Sunday?
I'm listening.
Are you calling for people to be allowed to go to church to worship on a Sunday?
We are calling for those who have capacity to be allowed to assist, to contribute, to minimize the number of people who go to bed, number of children who go to bed, number of widows and elderly people who go to bed hungry. That's what we are calling for.
But what about the issue of church now on a Sunday? Because I was reading your petition. It talks about operating under certain conditions and sanitary conditions that would be in place. Are you talking just specifically for the humanitarian efforts of the church, or are you talking about people being physically inside a church building on a Sunday, worshiping together, despite the risks that you know very well, having contracted coronavirus at a church yourself?
We are not there yet. We are not yet about worshiping. We are talking now about allowing people to do humanitarian work. That's where we are right now, because that's a critical need, and people are going to bed hungry, and we are saying it's not fair, because there are people that can assist them. Let them assist them.
Thank you for that clarity there, Reverend Kenneth Meshoe, the leader of the ACDP, clarifying what their petition is all about. So I do think that, you know, the wording, and as far as the petition is concerned, is not as clear as it can be, Faith, because, I mean, you know, he contracted coronavirus having attended a church gathering. There was that situation in South Korea where a church gathering was central to people contracting the virus.